Hi there, everybody, and welcome back. It is good to be here. I am Overlord, followed here with my lovely co-caster, Kaz, and we're about to get into Match 3. For those of you who are not aware, it is currently 1-1, and we are going into Ascent to finish off Best of 16.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about this map. I can't even lie. Last map was incredibly close, and I knew that I had called that it was going to be close, and then map 1 happened, and then that expectation was completely subverted.
You're not wrong.
I feel like map 2 was a more realistic depiction of what I was expecting to happen. And now that we're going into map 3, it's really, did the Vandals kind of notice where we went wrong? And I think a lot of where we went wrong is the fumbles that we had in our first half. I think our offense halves, especially on Lotus, are so important. And the fact that, you know, we had that little bit of a mental boom that Hood called it at the end of the map.
Just goes to show, hey, you have to keep on going. I know that some of these rounds didn't go exactly as you wanted, but just the difference of one round changes the whole way this game is played. For example, if we had round 5 during first half, that I think unironically would have won us the game.
Possibly. I think, yeah, losing that econ, especially because of how shaky it was earlier on, really screwed us over for later on in the half and therefore in the map just because of how that affected us. But, you know, we're going in to map 3 refreshed, hopefully feeling better than ever. And hopefully UPIT is as well. You know, they really needed that last map, again, to keep things competitive. I'm sure that they want to advance into the quarters as well. And there's a lot on the line for them here too.
I mean, they have gotten map 3 down onto the board, so it is still very much on the table. It's going to be saying, hey, this isn't our map, this isn't your map, this is a map. Who has the better tactics and who has the better gunplay? It's not going to be, oh, who has the best rat spots, who knows the best cheese or the most optimal plays for this, although most of them will because it is Ascent. Everyone plays Ascent. It's going to be a more simplistic who wins in the bare minimum level.
Now, out of the comps for both teams, we're going to see a little bit of a mirror, but instead of the Clove, the Vandals are going to be pulling out the Omen, which I feel like I like a bit more. I feel like Omen allows your team and the individual player to be a bit more aggressive when it comes to certain plays, whereas playing the Clove, you know, you're kind of forced to play policy. A bit more passive than usual. So maybe things work out with that pick, or maybe it just ends up working out better.
I personally like the Clove a little bit more. Having at least one character that has some sort of, even if it is a pseudo heal ability, allows you to have a little bit of a comeback mechanic and
better sustainability, which is something that, I mean, Snoopy has played Clove throughout all 3 maps, and we've already seen their Clove. We see how they play it, and they play a very strong Clove, which is very important. They know when the ult, they know how to play off of their metal, they know how to use their smokes efficiently, and every time that they did die, you know, they died in a really convenient spot, but they were still able to smoke for their team. That's good. And something that's going to be even more important going into Ascent.
I completely agree with you. I really do.
So far, UPIT was looking at trying to take that push towards A. Got hit by that one-way in main. Decided, you know what, just not worth it. Radical getting some damage out through the smoke blind. The rest of UPIT is going to flood through market. Bot sees Radical, knows to back up. Might be a little bit heavily contested here. Some damage from the shock dart onto Sentism. Radical there to finish that up. Finding Wowbot standing a little bit too exposed.
Okay, it's solid 3v5 here. You push forward, Zoms is going to be the one to look out for here.
Damage onto Zoms with the help of that recon.
I'm just looking for a little bit of cheese.
Cantidus finding Radical backside. Snoopy finding 2, looking for a 3rd. Oh, but Bull's going to find it.
And that is first round our favor.
A very close one. I can't even lie.
Really going to disarm?
Yeah, he got a little bit distracted. Both the Sovas and the server are a little away from the wheel range.
Man went ahead and opened up TikTok drafts. I was like, oh, that was pretty funny. Wait, what? And you have to respect the timer that was left on the score. 420, blaze it.
Yeah, I mean, it's I was honestly just so surprised by how that turned out. I mean, it seemed like Cantonese was going to be able to take that into their favor with the help of Snoopy, but Snoopy obviously was a little bit exposed, and playing from Boathouse is never always where you want to be. It is a position where you can get taken advantage of pretty easily, and you know, in that situation, Kawa was able to do that, take out Cantonese from backside, and completely just, you know, destroy the plans that UPIT had set out for themselves.
And as a, like, it worked out until it did.
Exactly. Now, this is some very interesting stuff I'm seeing right here. We have Bull going through tree. We have the rest of UPIT deciding to go to catwalk, which, I mean, just put them in the worst position possible. They were just playing into the rest of the Vandals who already had a lockdown, right? They have the one flank coming from Market and Tree. They had the other two already playing in main. I think it was just the worst possible situation that they could have been in there.
It was a spread that would have worked if not. It would have worked if the Vandals had spread out a little bit more evenly. But they kind of like concentrated in 2 spots and then had 1 person on the side, and then just each side won.
Agreed.
But now it should be a chance for Pittsburgh to go ahead and like claim around. They have their Vandals, their full util buys. I really, really love that melee weapon. It looks like it's the Doom Slayer sword, and I respect that with all ounces of my heart.
Both players here to drone. See the other. Molly to delay the push. Maybe Zombs is gonna dash through this.
I don't think that'd be a smart idea, but it is.
Well, it is Zombs.
Yeah, he has proven to be the most aggressive among the players, and he does have dash set up right now. Yep, and he's going for it.
It's that waylay updraft dash move. Snoopy ends up finding himself too. Obviously, just not a fight that was cut out for those Spectres into the Vandals, which happens, of course.
Planted.
Paula holding the other side of the smoke. Snoopy holding right against the door. Getting damage and eventually finishing off Wowbot. Radical finding that one, but not even able to clear the guy right next to the doorway. Snoopy finding themselves a 4K.
Radical may have dropped 2, but Snoopy had the 4. And if there's anything to know, it's that power of math here reigns supreme.
But once again,
that was
a very
expected.
normal first 3 rounds, right? That's exactly what you'd expect to happen in almost any given situation. It happened last map in the first half. It's happening here. Although the Vandals were starting on their attack on last map, and you know, having those kinds of numbers on their defense is pretty good, I think.
I mean, I guess we've seen similar results. It's a good start. We just hope they're able to keep the momentum it generates.
Especially, I mean, in the case of the Vandals anyway, are doing much better economically than UPIT is, right? Cantonese does cite in that first pick, but they did lose a couple players in that last round when they were forcing up for full rifles, and although some of them should have had the money to buy up, if they lose this round, I mean, it might have to be a pretty hard force or a pretty hard save from them in that next round going forward anyway.
Hey, Bradford, you got the flank. Go ahead and show him who's boss.
Find 3 for free.
Enemy remaining.
Kawa there for the follow-up. And Sergio.
That is how you play the flank.
Oh. Radicals are real happy about that, and honestly, I would be too.
He's been trying to do that for so many rounds.
He just heard them all go in. He's like, I have the smoke. They're not checking mid. They don't know I'm here. They're just going. It's too funny. Too funny.
It's about time.
Shout out some of the Varsity members on screen here, and some other players that were on Valorant teams in the past. Stupid Zombie. Talking to Cheese about some stuff. I found out that we use the same mouse pad. The Lethal Gaming Gear Saturn Pro. my favorite mouse pad I've ever used.
You had your fun.
Pretty cool
My
stuff.
turn.
Now Kawa, once that opening pick on Snoopy, is going to ult pretty aggressively, pretty fast. Kawa still taking out Snoopy regardless of being scanned by the recon. Zom taking out Radical. Taking out Kawa. Taking out both.
Last player
Finding the
standing.
4 on Fraudby.
He's on the track for
Spike
Ace.
planted.
Might overheat here, but Sergio there to shut it down.
Now the question is, can Sergio do what he was doing on the other side? There's only one way to find out. I don't know if that's...
He doesn't exactly have a dash here. Sentism finds
Just
him.
shooting through the wall.
Oh, very unlucky.
That's kind of the issue with going through soft pen.
I mean, there's only so much that you can do there, right?
I mean,
You
it is a
spray it through
1v3.
any part of the wall, you're going to get shot at some point.
And they knew where he was from watching Sentism shoot initially. Just not really a whole lot of
They're
material.
just like, hey guys, spray that. I like to say though, Sentism is playing a little bit like me today. 3 assists, 0 kills, and 4 deaths. Very used to seeing a KD like that on my own screen. Sometimes you just
You play for the
cannot
team.
get kills, but you're just using your util for the team, and that's all that matters, right?
You should run.
See the Killjoy coming out
Can't use that.
from
Can't use that.
U-Pit here. I'm sorry, I'm so slow to these names.
I mean, they're...
Wally out in main. Zoms is pushing
Not
forward and
exactly
immediately shut
common.
down. Fraudby throwing out that flash in the main. Sergio shut down out of the crew 9. Stepping forward, finds one, but traded by Sentism. Radical
Spike down
finding
A.
Snoopy out of that. Drops down onto site, leaving Sentism kind of pressure in the main. Candidate
One enemy
finding
remaining.
2 up in heaven.
And I was going to say, they're
One
playing the
enemy
trade
remaining.
game so effectively, but now it's just left one-on-one. Cantidus does have kind of the advantage here. Yeah, and they know exactly where he is now, too.
Yeah, I mean, that's big info for Candidus. Using the TP to reposition, but I think he knows.
Was he using it for a sound cue?
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, every single time that Cantidus is in a 1v1, he plays it perfectly. There's nothing that you can do against this guy.
You know what he could have done? Teleport off spot and then come back.
Did he have another one?
He did have another one, and he had ultimate up.
No, I mean, you didn't have to ult there. A 1v1, that's...
Well, yeah, I do think it would be a little bit over-exaggeratory to use ult there.
Hey, you could have TP'd again. I wouldn't
Yeah.
have been mad at that.
Because he could have TP'd towards battery, rather than, hey, you moved deep.
But then that's where, ooh, that's where,
Be the same.
Cantidus ended up going.
Okay,
Caldwell taking out Snoopy. Zoms finding the jet diff on the Sergio.
I like how they're running away from the conflict. Classics.
And you're like, we don't need to push that. It's 5 people there, right?
But they also had 5 people. But there's 5 holding line versus 5 pushing forward, and that's a big difference.
Spike planted.
Oh, spotting out 2 players, at least 1 in tree, and then Sentism there. Taking him out with that shock dart, throwing the drone out from the
No,
door.
he didn't wait
Trade.
for the door to finish.
Last
Rodby
player
there for the
standing.
finish. Could use the knife. Zoms is here in heaven. Rodby only playing with... Oh, he has a Vandal to play with here. No information. All the information in the
remaining.
world, but still hits that shot anyway. Doesn't know where Cantidus is. Uses a swarm grenade to push him off.
He's panicking.
Thinking he's in main. Oh, Cantidus.
And this is
bad
going to die for
news.
the bomb.
Oh, dear. A round win either way for U-Pit. But
They got the
Fraudby just
point, but
knowing
at
his
what
limits and is
cost?
like, I can't push this.
I respect it. He
Just had to leave.
He understood that if I continue for this play, I'm going to die. Might as well say, hey, if we're going to lose, I'll keep what I can.
And does. Able to go into that next round with a little bit more money after having saved that rifle. And the rest of the team buying around him. Is good news for the Vandals, for sure. Obviously, it seems like for the most part, UPIT has that better economy to play with. But who knows, if they play this round smart enough, should be able to push forward a little bit more. See the knife come out from Sentis. I'm not finding anything just yet. Sergio finding Wowbot.
How was he able to get that shot off? He was so far off.
You are
See the KOs come out.
See the suppressive field.
Almost takes out Zombs as he tries to enter. Sentis
Yeah,
taking out Kawa for a late trade. Snoopy falling to pull. Sentis
Spike
taking out
planted.
Bull for the follow-up
One
trade.
enemy remaining.
Broadby taking out the other KO. And Cantidus is once again in a clutch scenario.
But it's not one-on-one this time, but it is exactly what happened in Lotus earlier.
Dude, Cantidus wins one. Oh, never
Okay,
mind. Frogby
Frogby,
found
thank
it.
you so much for checking through the smoke. I would have been so sad if we lost another one of those situations.
I mean, I think it was pretty obvious to just spray through the smoke. I think in most situations, it's just about if he's there and if the shots connect. The spam through the smoke finds their head, able to get that kill and secure that round. But in any other situation, I mean, Cantidus has won himself 1v2s before. He's that guy.
He's done it twice already on the previous map alone.
It's, I mean, Cantidus is just like, it's not even a clutch gene. He just taught himself how to clutch, and he just plays these mind games with them. It's too funny.
But you know what? If it works, it works. I know I couldn't pull that off, but clearly he can. And it looks like we're going to do a little bit of a push through mid and A. Gonna go for an eco round here. Zombs, if you push that in that corner, Sergio's gonna get you.
Timing. Backing up because of the drone. Frogby just egoing Cantidus, who's, I think, just played the weirdest round of his life. Walking through catwalk with the Sheriff.
I think Candice was trying to put a little bit of pressure towards
Spike
the main
down
entrance,
A.
and clearly it works to a degree. But that's still just another free pick out. And then we're gonna get flanked from Radical and Kawa.
Wait. They know.
They're getting trapped.
They know.
Okay, Radical Kawa, you need to push forward just a little bit.
No, they're just holding. They're waiting to see if they back up. They're still trying to. They're still pretty dedicated to this A push. They do have that. Both knives and a rifle, which I don't know if he picked up or just bought this round.
He picked up.
Okay, that's good.
Not
30 seconds
You
left.
have knives. Why are you buying? Rodby and Tree. Smoked off. Spammed. A lot of damage through, but no finishes.
They're all really, really low here. And
Right.
Radical is still onto that flank. He is ready to go ahead and show them the power of what Omen can do. And
Kabla
here-
there for the
and this
Killjoy.
guy
The
forced him to go
recon finds
backwards.
both on site. Radical finds one.
One enemy
Finds
remaining.
the other. Third found by Fraudby. That is the round for the Vandals. Was on a save for U-Pit, so obviously was pretty rough to play that.
But they got played like a fiddle, putting down the Killjoy ultimate to force them out, flush them towards where they were hiding from safety, which they knew there was a flank around there. I just don't think they were expecting to be that close.
Which, it happens. Obviously, you're playing on a save. You don't have a lot of money to play with, and even going into this round, they're putting a lot of resources into it. Losing this again, it might lead to that snowball that we saw back on map 1, where
Where you try and take the one
save
and
and
lose
buy,
two,
save and buy, yeah.
Placing swarm
rather than
grenade.
just lose another one and then try and go for the 2 spree, because they would have
Get
enough
out of
money
my
if they
way.
went for another eco round for both parts. But who are we to tell them how to play this game? They're the Valve players.
Yeah. Well, I also play.
Yeah. Just kidding. I personally, I can theorycraft as much as I want. I do not have the experience these players have, so I can only do this from a theoretical standpoint.
Of course. And I feel like even as casters, like that's as much that you could do, no matter how much experience that you have.
Because there's the game aspect and there's the player aspect, and you only have access to one but not the other. And Radical is going to go ahead and stop Zombs.
Zombs can
That is Zombs'
knife.
4th ultimate and has yet to throw a kunai.
Now Cantidus does find Frogby. Wowbot finds Kawa.
I guess the aura ult works.
No, it did
somehow.
not.
Well, it got
died
it
immediately.
got the 2 trade outs immediately.
That's
so.
true. I mean, it's big information for him.
But also, not use your ult there.
Now,
30 seconds left.
Cupid is struggling to decide where do we want to take this.
It is essentially a 2v2 here.
Wellbot obviously does still have
Spike
their life
planted.
up, just regardless of how much damage they've already taken. Now it's just going to be a post-plant. Free little post-plant round. Oh, that's a nice knife. I'm stealing that.
Hitting towards top of roof.
Yeah.
Such
Obviously,
a
the
massive sphere of influence.
the trick about knife is just shooting
Last
in places
player
where they
standing.
don't care.
And then watching the ping go off.
Yeah.
And it worked. And and Pittsburgh, their aggressive play managed to work. That's going to give them kind of what they need.
Both teams now still pretty even, pretty late into the half.
It's another 5v5 going halfway through.
Although
Oh, I do apologize.
UPIT has the weaker or the stronger economy in this situation and would have the upper hand
They're just going for another classic pistol round.
by either losing or winning. Round. Cantidus taking a little bit of damage there through tiles.
Yeah, but Sergio took a little bit more.
Both knives hit a little bit of something. Radical putting a nice little rat spot. Fraudby shutting Wowbot down.
Cover going out.
Throwing the smoke out.
Does realize they saw where that came from, right?
Yeah, I don't think they fully realized. Oh,
Apparently
that's
not.
why. That's why I said that.
Last player standing.
Oh my goodness. Senses and taking out Sergio. Bull and Fraudby finding the kills they need to finish out that round.
Radical is just playing from some of the
Last
weirder
round
spots
in the
that
half.
you wouldn't think someone there. He's doing rap plays,
Yeah.
and it is working. And honestly, I respect it.
Hey,
I have to play like a
It's-
rat to succeed
it's-
in this game too.
it's big. It's not all the time is it useful just to flank, right? Sometimes you just got to play in a really stupid
Yeah,
rat
go
spot.
for the lurk spot.
Mhm.
Is that the term in Valorant? Lurking?
Yes. In
Okay.
other games, it's flanking. In Valorant specifically, it's lurking. Even though it's the exact same thing.
Suppressing.
You just call it something.
Flash.
You should run.
Okay, and we're
See
gonna
the
go ahead
Killjoy.
and get Killjoy and the KO will come out immediately. Which suppression into detain into suppression is an awful combo.
Well, because
Radical,
the
it is such a
Killjoy will-
good thing that this game does not have friendly fire.
Walks
That's
away.
for sure. Sergio. Will be the first to step out of market. Broadby, okay. Confirming Zoms. Broadby taking out Wowbot as well. That's clearing lane up just a little bit. Getting some damage on the senses and finding the
Last
confirm.
player
Sergio finding Cantidus in Boathouse as well. Caldwell taking out Snoopy. And that's the round.
Yeah.
That is the half, actually. 7-5, ending that round.
A little
or
bit
ending
better
that
than the
half
previous one.
with the lead. And no matter how close that half was, I think the Vandals absolutely need to leave that half with the lead.
Switching sides.
Especially where I personally believe they perform a bit better on defense for the most part. You have to make sure you get your offensive wins where you can.
And something that I think led to the loss from last map was having lost those last 4 rounds of the first half, right? Which, even if you end that first half 6-6, you lose those 4 rounds, it doesn't really feel like it's tied up.
Yeah, it feels like, hey, they're really doing something to us.
Mhm.
They're building momentum, even if the score is net neutral.
And
But hey, it's 7-5. We may have stomped first game. It may have been even second game, but this is the first one where you have a slight lead, and let's just maintain it. Right?
let's hope so, right? Anything can happen in these pistol rounds. Zoms deciding to push up here. Sergio sees them step out and
And he
find
goes
that
in.
kill. Very nicely played.
Do you think if they just continue trying to go in for picks here, that'll eventually lead to victory? Or do you think, hey, it's going to be really matter in like 3 rounds the team play is going to be more involved?
I think it's more important for both of these teams to be able to find their picks where they can, right? Sergio already found himself too, and though he got traded out, it was enough space for the Vandals to get on the site, to get the spike down, and to force UPIT into that post plan.
One suppressed.
Broadby taking out Wowbot from Tree, traded by Sentas and
Player
Cantidus, taking
standing.
out Radical and Bull, all up to Kawa here. Already one on the spike.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah.
Traded out by Sentas, and that is going to be that pistol round for UPIT.
It is unfortunate.
You don't.
They were both holding onto the entrance that he was at. They also had turrets. It was a pseudo 1v3, and he tried his best. He almost pulled it off.
Which, I mean, they did get that one off the spike, but by that point, they had already gotten the half. They didn't have the time to play off. You know, Sentism was there for the trade, got the trade. Super valuable to have that. Now we're getting into a situation of, is this going to be a normal first half, or do the Vandals find a thrifty win somehow?
I mean, it happened earlier.
It did.
It could very much happen again.
Yeah.
I don't think it will, but it's possible.
Here.
Zons, heck, pushed up, finding 2 here. Dashing back out,
And
deciding
just
not to
leaving
take
like
that
it's
fight.
like it's not nothing. 2-man squad out within the first 10 seconds.
Oh, and
Last
already
player
taking out
standing.
Zoms. But Wowbot
Spike down,
finding 2
B.
in their spawn. It's just full. I mean, what
And
can
he
you
is-
really do in a
He is
situation
being
like
hunted
this, right?
down. Trying to take advantage of their own smokes, but there's nothing he can do except his best.
Mhm.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's about as much would happen.
There's just not much that you can do against that. And it's fine. I think he understood that, knew it was better to die. And therefore
Die standing on your feet, then running away as a coward.
yeah. I mean, it's not worth it to save. You have a classic. You save it.
You're saving nothing.
Vandals.
There.
Now, obviously, playing that 3rd round as per usual. Zoms, instead of buying the Sheriff for this round, is deciding to force up hard with the Phantom and regen. Don't exactly know how I feel about that play, but
Well, based off the way you are currently doing it, it sounds like you do not approve.
woo! I mean, he finds his kills. I guess I can't really say anything, but we'll really have to see. There it is.
Had something stuck in your throat.
Seems getting hit by that recon. Found out in heaven. Rest the Vandals don't really know if anyone else is on site. Zom's here for a pretty aggressive flank. Just in case they decide to go for the rotate. Does seem like they are pretty convinced of that A push, but as the clock ticks down, Zoms might just push up for a flank here. Yeah, finds his one. Not traded, knife hits from Sentism. Zom's caught out by the knife, but is deciding to jump away anyway. Losing those smokes for later in the round is pretty detrimental for the Vandals. Sergio does find Wowbot in tree either way.
Which will mean recon will be a harder thing to pull off.
Oh,
And
Sergio
goes
takes out Cantidus. Snoopy finds that trade, but hey, I mean, it's not all bad.
3 for 2. We absolutely have the odds here in our favor. So
Snoopy,
Snoopy isn't covering.
One enemy
boom,
remaining.
finding the trade. Very nicely played by Fraudby, stepping back into tree to reload.
Now all it is up to
Reposition.
Zoms.
One enemy remaining.
Zoms and Kawa there for the trade. A round needed to both take that lead back
I can hold
and
the area
to
pretty
start a
well
little
like
bit of momentum into later on.
The players look both embarrassed and excited about how that round went. You could see him just trying to do a cutoff, just saying, "Hey, don't film this. Don't film this. We didn't do anything."
And the situation now, we're going into that timeout for the Vandals. Need to kind of preemptively plan for what it is that they want to do later on into this half after winning that round. We did lose quite a few players during that round, which, you know, obviously on a 3rd round, you're forcing up money. Losing players is not exactly what you want to
It's a
do.
given of nature.
But
But
there is
the
still an
fact that we
opportunity for
have
us
it-
to take it back.
Yes. And us, the Vandals, securing that kind of really opens up this door for future possibility. We're not going to have to worry about the Force working out anymore because we now have that econ working in our favor. We kind of are understanding how they're playing around this map. Hey, they're gonna try and do flash on flash, go through smoke, and have Zims be the opener and the rest to follow through. We understand. Hey, they're going to just be sitting in smoke waiting for Zims to go first to take all the aggro. Have one person focus on Zoms, take him out, then have everyone focus on the smoke spot, and you can just go ahead and rattle their team down.
Placing alarm bot.
Now, that's harder than the way I describe it, but...
Spike retrieved.
I don't know. I feel like everything that goes into later in the round really just depends on how these opening fights turn out. You know, they've tried to take this aggression A for a while and sometimes get a little tripped up. It was fortunate that they were able to find that success at the end of that half, or at the end of that round anyway, but even so.
Yeah, and I completely get you, but a point is a point, and it gives us the short lead that we have. And Surge's going to go ahead and take down the Zoms, leading into an early pick out. We don't have to worry about the aggressive player trying to distract as the players move forward.
Bot holding down 3.
Bot.
So much information off the recon, and so many shots missed. Let's find at least one.
But that kind of just sealed the deal for this round. I think that single recon bolt just said, this round's ours now.
It's rough.
I mean, it was a triple pick out. Now, maybe Kawa can do something here from the back line.
He does have a good flank.
Last player
Oh,
standing.
but Snoopy
saw it
pre-fired.
coming. Getting a solid triple. That was just kind of radical, and honestly, it might be worth just saving here.
They're going to push him up.
Then he tries to take as many down with him as he can, but
10 seconds left.
They're
it
going to
is
push main. I
such
don't
a
know if they
bad
know where he
place
is,
to
but they're
be.
going to try and push it anyway just to get that gun off him. It's
Yeah,
going to be in a round in
might-
UPIT's favor.
they're not going to try and get him down.
Oh. It's not worth risking your own money, own weapons as well. Happens.
Well, I would be the one to disagree with you there. They're the ones with the money advantage. Them losing equal amounts of money for the same circumstance means that mathematically they would suffer less from it.
Yes, but
that's only assuming it's a trade.
yeah. I mean, well, no, not really, because then that person who still lost that gun has to spend money on that round, has less money to play with later on in the half. It's not really a position that you want to be in,
Well,
right?
At the end of this round, I can explain the math, at least the way I'm having it now. How did counted as kill
Spike
serial?
down,
So
B.
Okay.
I
And
guess that works.
because it does. Issue with this angle, Radical, is that you're very exposed to both main and mid, or market, right?
But
Last player standing.
just almost completely died there for some
One enemy remaining.
Okay, it was because
Oh my goodness,
and then we got a
Frogby!
solid clutch from Frogby as he goes ahead and gets a double on Jet and Clover.
Wow.
Okay,
That is,
so the math portion I was referring to. So, say that Team A, Pittsburgh, has a total team gold of 12,000. And say the Vandals as a whole have a total gold of 9,000. Losing 3,000 for 12,000 is a loss of 25%. But a loss of 3,000 on a 9,000 team is a 33% decrease.
Yes. However, unless if they were able to win the round after that, that one player having less money would force the rest of the team to have to save the round back. So let's say...
Yeah, obviously the specifics of the equation are not being taken into account, and pure chaos is being put onto the field and the helper is revived back.
Spike down, B.
Yeah, this is a lost round. Take as many down with you as you can, Serial. You will not be able to take any with him. But yeah, obviously the specifics of certain games are not that simple. But in theory, that is the principle
Yeah.
of greater versus lesser losses from specific interaction.
Especially because it doesn't come down to the situation all the time where another teammate is able to buy.
That is
I don't
true.
think if someone lost that a gun during that round, that one of their teammates would have been able to comp them for another one.
Because it's certain thresholds you have to meet. Because it's not like, okay, you chip in 600, I'll chip in 700.
Yeah.
That guy's got the rest, and it's like, okay, here's your gun, sweetie. Enjoy your time. It's all or nothing. So you have to be able to have that full extra 3K on you.
Now going into the second timeout of the map for the Vandals, who I think absolutely need it right now. Been having a pretty shaky second half, losing the lead, gaining the lead, getting tied up once again. I think now that we're back in a situation where the score is tied up, we need to strategize a stronger plan to make sure that we don't lose it.
And I think across the whole, even over here on our end, there's a certain amount of mental fatigue that is starting to set in, especially, I don't know who's the person in the first row. I believe it was Fraudby. Looks so exhausted after 2.5 hours of this.
You mean the first person in the row?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Or that's Bull.
That's Bull? He looks so exhausted to try and keep up this heightened sense of awareness and incredible reaction speed. A game based off of reflexes more than most things takes a large mental effort. But Alba's just going to go ahead and take down Wildbot, and then Zombie's going to take down Sergio, setting up an easy trade 1-for-1, and Snoopy takes down Serial, leading into it. And Zombie takes down Kawa? Okay, it leads into a 2v4. Radical going down to Zombs, who has a triple currently. Can they get the quad here? Fabian's going to go around the corner. Miss literally all the shots. Zoom's going. Oh my goodness!
Rough.
Zombs
No, it's fine.
Easy quad there.
We were running it down. It was a save round. We're going into this next round with money to buy.
All forms of goofy.
Yeah, I mean, that was a little silly for sure. That was a little silly.
Especially with like the early pick out, and then I just want that entire thing to happen with the Zombs in the final part, to just have the clown music go na 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 na.
Yeah, it's fun, Robbie. We see you. We recognize.
He tried his best. There's not a whole lot a Ghost can do against a Jet that's going in every which direction.
Exactly.
But I can take care of the play-by-plays for a second, since your voice is a little bit tuckered out.
Dude, my everything. I am almost thinking I'm going to get up, but it's fine. I'm locking it in.
Yeah, Candidates is going to go ahead and get lockdown plays, but he is going to get destroyed. We see Hunter's Fury was deployed, but nothing came off of it as Candidates gets an easy double kill.
That is not a great situation.
No, definitely especially taking down all of the util early. Well, actually, took down both duelists more than anything. To be fair, everyone on the IDO team is running util, it's just who's running more util than the others.
Have one of these.
Don't peek.
Oh, unlucky.
I said it. Don't
That's
peek.
rough. I mean, in most situations,
Theoretically, he should have
Radical
won
should have
that.
had that advantage, but it's just the shots did not connect. It happens.
But it is now currently 11-9. Pittsburgh favor. We're gonna have to do a force. There's only potentially 2 rounds on the clock, but the Vandals continue to struggle in this manner. And like I said earlier, their offensive phases, they really, really struggle. And it is clearly having an effect on them.
I mean, again, I feel like a lot of the energy is just low in the room, and map 1 obviously proved to be so good.
Well, okay, Zombs, show him how it's done. Taking down Sergio with an initial headshot from the off immediately.
Ooh, Zom's able to find that one. Ooh,
I don't like how this is playing out.
I don't like a lot of the fights that we're playing here, and that miss Molly. Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good representation of how the rest of the team is feeling right now.
It's like, hey, they get a pick out, we do for a trade, they do a trade, we do a trade, and then they end up with
oh, wait, that's fat. Oh my god. Okay, Brad, pick him up. Oh, yeah. He can get picked up so much faster now. In like half the time.
Yeah, I was going to be like, that was a half a second tops.
Yeah. No, they...
If I recall, it used to be 2 seconds?
Something like that, 2 or 2.5 or something like that. And they just completely gutted that time and just made it like a second, basically.
But hey, you know what? He gets to keep his kit. He's still alive. We have
Not great
no
guns. It's
money,
just because we
but-
forced up.
But
and
it worked to a degree. We got the round. It's just unfortunate that the loss that we took was so severe.
And now it depends on if we're going to be able to find another one.
I think they need to go for these picks, and they can't keep on just getting these random links from, KJ here.
And a lot of the issue that came from those is like, yeah, we're just going to try and play mid and see what happens. But the rest of Pit just had mid unlock.
You see Sergio is down in hell right now. Oh, sorry, they're not Sergio.
Sergio. Fraudby there for the trade on Sentism.
Oh, and now
Snoopy
we have...
trying to shoot the ones that he sees lower on Jen. Cantidus there for it. Radical does take out Wildbot. Sergio takes out Zombs. They're not looking at him in hell. He gets caught out by the Killjoy anyway. The other two are still in main.
And I do not think Snoopy can win the 1v2 here. They do have ultimate, but if they use it, they're going to lose it.
They can't use it.
Yeah, they'll just die.
No, I mean, like, you can't use it in a situation like this.
Oh, yeah, because you'll be the last person, and you won't have anyone to technically be holding on to the score.
Yeah.
One enemy remaining.
And there we go. Playing it nice and clean. Sure, we lost 4 people. We've evened out the scoreboard.
Which is big. That is exactly what you want. Those rounds are incredibly important if the Vandals want to continue to find success in this half, to maybe even eventually go on to win, right?
It is clear now that map 1 was not the norm.
No.
It was either, hey, one team's slowly warming up, or hey, they were at the edge of their game and they're ready to dominate, and things just kind of neutralized over time. But we're on the edge of the seat. This is showtime. I think whoever wins this one will probably win the next, because a half force is one of the worst things to try and secure a clutch on.
Always hard, you know. See Zombs holding this rat spot. Kawa is going to clear it.
Kawa, can you do it? Yes! Kawa,
Yup.
that's beautiful.
He knew to
Taking
clear
down Zombs
it.
is so fantastic.
Knew to clear that. It was very good. They have that guy up, right?
Radical's going to go ahead and transfer over towards the east side.
Sergio takes out Wowbot.
Did
That's
Radical
2 for him there.
Did Radical cancel it to bait in the Sova?
I think so, actually.
That is so massive. Now he's just waiting for his teammates to reinforce him, and then they're going to go ahead and go to 8 point, and only person there left is Sentism. Sentism.
Sentism.
Now you have it stuck in my head.
Yeah. Sentism.
Senta.
Yeah, this is a lot to say. I feel like Sentism makes sense. I just don't know why I didn't realize that. Yeah. I'm sorry.
You're welcome. Look, Tool, fantastic band. I like it.
Yeah.
30 seconds
Okay,
left.
Radical is going to go ahead and get the plant down. They're setting up to
Spike
prevent
planted.
Heaven from being the point of focus. Sergio's playing
taking a
really
pretty aggressive
aggressive.
angle. I love that. Not being able to confirm that one on Snoopy, but Fraudby there for the trade. Cantidus finding the follow-up on Fraudby.
One
Oh,
enemy
finding
remaining.
Kawa. Snoopy taking out... Oh.
What happened?
That
The
just-
Vandals got completely dismantled there.
Yeah, they just... Everything fell apart. Now, I don't feel like it's completely over. I think there is still an opportunity for them to
it
take it
is.
into an overtime.
It is 12-11. The Vandals will have, if they can win this round and bring it to overtime, they have advantage on defense. And that should be the win con that we're aiming
Wait a
for.
minute. The money's weak.
Yeah, the money is incredibly weak.
Oh,
Like I said,
dear.
it's going to be a half buy for whoever loses that round.
Oh, that's rough. That is rough to see. And obviously, there's still an
But
opportunity.
thankfully, Sergio has ult. He doesn't need full guns. He just needs to make sure he has his util.
I mean, no pressure.
Now let's see who wins.
Yeah.
Sergio with kunai or
Get
Jet
out of my
without
way.
it.
Do see Wowbot with that op holding down tiles, but Vandals aren't going for it this time around. Kawa just waiting for somebody to push up and holding that spot with the stinger. Ooh, gets caught out by the Recon 3 in spawn. That's really bad, actually.
They're going to have to completely readjust how they're approaching the site. Oh, and now they're going to push down middle with Sova holding onto it. But we do have the smoke cloud put down. Okay. Okay.
I mean, gets the off shot, trading to
he's
be
trying
more.
yeah, he's trying to do what CX does, what CS Sticks does constantly in his CS:GO games. But this is an odd defense round, I'm going to be honest. They're hovering between, hey, rushing B or going through main. Going through courtyard. But now the op is reloaded again. Oh, Kawa,
I'm
don't do
sick.
it.
Oh, no! Huh? What happened?
I don't know.
30 seconds
Oh,
left.
okay.
What?
Sergio
I
got
almost said
Cantidus.
something
That's
bad.
kind of big. Right? Has the knives out. Traded out by Sentism. Radical is in backside, but gets caught out by the recon. Bulls holding for anybody.
There
in
we go.
flank takes out WoW. Snoopy finds the trade. They get the spike down. Radical takes out Zoms. And that is the game, ladies and gentlemen. A long, hard-fought map 3 for UPIT to be the victors of round of 16, at least in this matchup.
Yeah.
Will be going on to their quarterfinals, and the Vandals, unfortunately, will be going home empty-handed.
It is an unfortunate and bitter loss, especially considering how strong they started off. But the mental fatigue clearly wore at them. And at that point, once you're in that debilitated, weak mindset, it's so easy to get frustrated, not have your reaction times on point. The strategy goes out of your head as muscle memory takes over. And when that happens, nothing can help you.
Yeah, it's a really devastating thing to see, especially because, you know, a lot of players who I feel like had their moments in map 1 on the side of UPIT really stepped it up in the following 2 maps. And again, a lot of the round losses that UPIT saw during map 1 were really just small, simple mistakes that the Vandals were able to capitalize on. And
then going
then
into
it
map 2, they're like, this is
came
what
the
happened.
opposite.
We know we need to fix it. And then clearly
they fixed it.
It improved
Right?
their performance dramatically.
So, again, very devastating that our team has to be going home. I believe JV2 also lost their game.
We'll have to confirm that information.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I saw.
So the Vandals are out of competitive play for Valorant,
Yes.
which is unfortunate. But honestly, not terrible. Both
Yeah.
the JV squads make it into past playoffs. Pretty massive.
A very nice end of the season. Anyway, I feel like both
End
our
of this season
teams,
specifically. We still have three other teams going through theirs.
in all 3 Rocket League and
Rocket League,
So 3 Rocket League teams.
5 teams. Okay, we still have 5
NCS,
teams going
yes.
through their.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really? That is not good.
Well, it happens.
Yeah, but we have 5 teams currently going through their esports rounds as well. So you have plenty of content to keep you informed and to keep watching us as we move forward.
If you want to keep up to date, you can join the Discord using !Discord to find that link in the chat, or you can just follow us and keep our notifications on, so that you
pretty cool,
can
guys.
come and check out the stream. Until next time, my name was Kaz, joined here by the Overlord, and we might see you tomorrow for some Rocket League and or Counter-Strike 2 action. Until next time, have a good night.
We'll see you guys later.